Curious. Curious.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Huh.
With frogs, cold night and the winter hot cold. Sorry that I fall away sometimes. Sorry that I fall. Yeah. Different in the building.
So where did you go then?
Sister in the building. Pour out the bubbles, we holding our liquor down. If it's a problem, I go to the bar and I shut it down. Get out my section, don't bother with lames. I'm watching these bunnies bounce. Shorty your 10 and a rubber band, come on for the 100 pound. All of this talk, but don't run them out. I'm trying to be out. All I really wanna know, when we leaving. All I really need to know is when we leaving. All I really wanna know, when we leaving. All I really need to know
Bum, bum,
is
bum,
when
bum.
we leaving.
Bum, 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 bum. Okay.
I don't wanna say anything, cause if I do, I might say the wrong words. Oh no. So I'll keep my mouth shut and not listen. Afraid I'd lose you if I didn't. Till we find Don't know what to do anymore. I'm out of options, nothing's working. I'm out of service. Come help me now, I'm fucking nervous. I'm trying but can't scratch the surface. So I'll keep my mouth shut and not listen. Afraid I'll lose you if I didn't. Can we find what we're missing and compromise? So I'll keep my shoes on and not leaving. We're on thin ice, winter season. Can we find a single reason not to say goodbye? Oh, if I said what's on my mind, would you stay with me tonight? If I said what's on my mind, would that make you run and hide? Run and hide. Was never easy growing up. About time I read a book to distract myself from this reality. Oh, it's been a couple years, I feel the same. Guess I'll never really learn this fucking game, but I'm here to play it now. I don't wanna cry again, even if I lose a friend. You say you had good intent when you hurt me. You do it all again, that's so loose to me. I don't wanna try anymore. Yeah, I won't show up at your door in the morning. Said that it wasn't planned when you hurt me. You do it all again, that's so loose to me.
No.
I wanna go back in time to when things were easier, before it got all complicated. Oh, just give me the strength
What?
to move on, 'cause I don't really wanna
Armory
move
rooms.
on. I gotta do what's best for me. I don't wanna cry again, even if I lose a friend. You say you had good intent when you
What the
hurt me.
fuck are you doing?
Do it all again, that's so loose to me. I don't wanna try anymore. Yeah, I won't show up at your door in the morning. Said that it wasn't planned when you hurt me. You do it all again, that's so loose to me. Oh no.
Sure. Okay.
Oh, I got lost on the way to you, in an orange sky by the ocean blue. Every mile
What's up, Don? How are you doing today, bud? Chilling before bed. You're gonna be away from home. How come? Going on a big trip or something else? If you don't mind me asking. I don't want to pry too much into personal life if it's super personal. Where are we at? We're in what? Ad bag? Alright, so what do I have? I have factory ruins. There are. Mother has to get some surgery. Has been living with your grandmother. Is she doing all right? Is it serious? So lab ruins. She just cleared today. Oh, you're going to take care of her. Is that what it is? Should be home in 2 days. Okay. Well, it's always good to take care of your family. Alright, so let's see. Lost. Okay, so there is a library ruins, which means we can do new game. Yeah, that's a good thing. I mean, especially if you're, relatively on good terms with your mother. Alright, where are we at? Crater? We're in the crater. Oh, we are in the crater. Should be ruined, right? Building designation. Treasure. And then building ruin true. Is it looking for an interior? No. Working on the low level ruin templates. So I'm working on these guys. So I gotta figure out why this guy isn't ruined, but I think what I might do instead of this building, because I think what I can do if I go to, let me see, outpost. Yeah, I can just do this. Yeah, I've got to, especially for this crater, I've got to make it worthwhile exploring here, but also I've got to make it in such a way that everything is ruined. Which, so these ruins here, not necessarily these, but the building type ruins, these guys, they're not going to have, they'll have mostly like building materials, but they'll have building materials and a limited supply of like what type of building they are. Excuse me. So like a library might have like 2 or 3 books and maybe something like 1 ancient science book or something like that. And then I want players to mostly, when they physically see these type of buildings, they're like, okay, that's a ruin because the building is ruined. So players will visually be able to identify these, and then the lost ones, these will be like these buildings. Let me see. So you'll have, the idea is to actually use all of the different types of that I had another type, but yeah, that's fine. So then the lost ones, these guys will be like the super rusted variants. So you'll visually be able to identify, oh, okay, that's a, because whenever you come up to them on the map, it's not going to say library ruins. It's just going to say ruins. So you're not going to know if anybody is there. So you'll visually be able to identify what it is, but you won't know what faction owns it or who, who's there. And yeah, until you literally explore it. And so that's the general idea. And then, of course, there will be a slight handful of variations to them. Like in the notes here, I was I was talking about, so like the biome size. This is basically how I'm thinking I want to set up the ruins per biome. So, the biome size is small, medium, or large. So in this case, like if we look at the map, so the Great Desert is considered large, but in vanilla, there's really only like 2 ruins, and that's if I do this, like this old village, that'll be swapped out for a different template. I think it'll be swapped out for a different template because I'm pretty sure this is involved in a world state, so I'll have to check. But yeah, so there's not really any ruins here. But then what I can do is maybe like over here to the east along the coast, place a ruin. So I can add new features in. But once I get the template down for each of the building types, which I'm okay with not having a lot in the desert. What I might do is I might add in like a if we're looking back at the notes again, what I might do is I'll add in maybe like because we have the generic let me see, generic runes. So we have abandoned farm, abandoned village, and abandoned town. So what I can do is add in some generic ruins to the Great Desert, or to the Great Desert, not Great Desert, Great Desert. So maybe like an abandoned farm and an abandoned village, just somewhere, you know, in the general area. So players have a little bit more to explore. Even if the loot isn't that great, it gives them another resting point. And then, let's see. So, one thing that I was talking about, going back to the biome size. So, the Great Desert is super, super large. So, what I was thinking is somewhere, these are just rough numbers, but somewhere I was thinking like 5, 10, 20 different ruins, depending on how big a biome is. And then as I was going through, I was like, all right, let's do ruins per type difficulty. And then so small zones will likely get 2 ruins, mid zones will likely get 3 to 4 ruins, and then large zones like the Great Desert or maybe the swamp or the ashlands, something like Stove's Gamble, Leviathan Coast, down here in Shun and the Hook, because they're relatively large, maybe even 1 or 2 in Sten Desert. Yeah. So yeah, so then the general idea is to take, you know, the ruins and then weight them in a certain way. So in a small zone, so let's take for instance, if we look at the hub, the border zone, I might place 1 ruin in here. That's like specific. So it'll be a direct like low tier ruin, but it'll have a lot of enemies. And so what I will likely do is actually for this, what I will likely do is take the Dust King Tower and then the Ninja Towers and change those into the ruins. So not only are you going there to kill an enemy, a boss, but because you now know that they're ruins, you're going there to explore those ruins. Because now those you have a reason to kill those bosses. Beyond, I want to kill those bosses. So players will have a little more reason to explore, to take out bosses and stuff like that. So the idea isn't to change, like if we take a look at the Dust King Tower. The idea isn't to change how it functions, but more so how it looks. So when you come here, it's like, okay, it's a little camp, but that camp doesn't make much sense in the context of everything. Just because there's not a lot of stuff to do here. So realistically, what I would like to put is like maybe what I would put is an abandoned village here. An abandoned village type ruin. And then I've got to do something better about these walls. And then so I'll likely expand this a little bit. But yeah, so then you have an abandoned village here with a couple crops. And then the players eventually will, once they kill the Dust King, the mercenaries from the hub, wherever the hell it's at, the hub, will come over here and they'll take control of it. And then you'll get a couple, like you'll be able to use the farms. You'll be able to have a small shop here or something like that. And then the same thing would go for the ninja tower. Where's that at? It's over here. So instead of going here, because if we do this right now, like if we take a look and go into the interior, players might want to loot stuff. Hold on, let's actually let everybody load in real quick. Like now you have some food and stuff here. What the fuck is this? Let's see. Chest in here. So yeah, like it's got food and stuff like that. Which is fine. Yeah. Bandits would hoard this type of loot, but I also want to move away from stuff like this because, they just have a lot of food here, and I want more for the player to explore through. Let me see, are there any other... So yeah, if we check all these chests, it's just different variations of the same, loot and stuff like that. Yeah. Right. Then let me see. Let me have these guys. Do they have an interiors? Nah. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. But yeah, so I'll make it a ruin type. But it'll be unique to the Dust King. So like when you look at it, you're like, oh, this used to be a village, right? So it has a little bit of visual storytelling, but you don't know the story because nobody lives there. Nobody knows the history anymore. It was taken over by bandits, and it's, as for long as anybody can remember, it's been taken over by bandits. So what you have instead, yeah. So what you have instead is a physical representation in the world of a story, but instead of, instead of it looking like this, you'll have a better storytelling device. So then let's go back to the crater. What else was I saying? So then, your lost ruins, like I was saying, these would be the super rusted buildings. These will be hard to get to. not necessarily for the player. No, you're good, you're good. The Lost Ruins will not necessarily be hard to get to for the player, but just, these will be, like, lore-wise, they're hard to get to. So, like, in the lore, the tech hunters know that there's a lot of ruins in the swamps, but they can't get to them because the swamp factions keep them out. So it's another storytelling device. Like, you know that there's ruins in the swamp because the tech hunters tell you there's ruins in the swamp. And then, so what ends up happening is you'll have, right. So you'll have, but according to in-game dialogue, the lore itself, the tech hunters can't get there because of the factions there. So what you end up having is a bunch of bandits and you know, people like the Twin Blades who deal in like organic trafficking and stuff like that. So I'll put Lost Ruins there, or if we go to, I think there's one over here in the Crags. So like the Lost Library over here in the Crags, or off in the pits rather. This isn't necessarily hard for the player to get to, but societally in game, it'll never appear on a map, right? So you're not going to go and buy a map from a tech hunter shop, and these ruins will never show up on a map. So you have to go out and you have to find them yourself, because nobody knows they're there, or nobody can get to them, at least in a lore sense. So now you have another storytelling device. And in these lost libraries will be, yeah, so no more maps to them. I've got to redo all the maps as well, which will be, once I get the ruins down, then I'll start redoing the maps. But I've got to get all the ruins down piece by piece so I can make sure that, you know, people have, or I got to get them all done piece by piece so that I track what I'm doing correctly. But yeah, so you might find out that, you know, there's a police barracks here, and you're like, okay, I want to go and explore that. I want to go, excuse me, I have the hiccups. I want to go and explore that. And then what ends up happening is as you're walking to go to the police barracks, maybe you come down from the north or something like that, and you're like, holy cow, I didn't know there was a lost library here. So then you're like, okay, well, how do I get to it? So all of a sudden now you're coming down from the north, and then you find that the library is there. And then stuff like this. Right. It's all about players exploring the map. And so, like this old Empire supply outpost, this will be, I'm not sure if I want to put it on a map or not. Right? But that's part of the thing that I want, is I want players to not know what's out there fully. So, whereas on the website, on Lost Blog, when I'm going through like regional maps and explaining what's in them, I'm just going to make like a quick note. It'll be like a text document note. It'll be like, for instance, let's take this area. Let's take the pits. The pits will be like, it'll look something like this. It'll be like, on the website, it'll be like, the pits has one lost ruin, right? So even players, they're like, okay, I know there's a ruin in the pits, but they don't know where it's at. And I'm not going to provide them an image to the location, because I want to keep that mystery, that sense of travel. And so the idea is that once every section of this world is rebuilt ruin-wise, not necessarily, I don't want to give players too much direction, but the idea is that eventually what I will do, here's one thing that I want to do. We'll jump over to Heft real quick. On the website, what I want to do, let's let this load up real quick. While we're waiting for this to load up, I'll show you what I want to do on the website. So, under Genesis, it'll be like this is the update timeline, right? Under Genesis, what I want to do is have a section called World, and it'll act kind of like a wiki. So the world will be like, it'll show you the world map, and then underneath it, it'll go from in-game, it'll go from the top right, down, and then back up, and then down, and it'll list all the regions. And then what I want to do, come here, browser. What I want to do is like, so let's say this, where it says version 9, it would be like the Great Desert, and then it would have like a city, and then, so let's say it says Heft there. What I want it to do is I want to take a picture like this, to take a picture, and then go over it in some kind of editing software, and then it'll have, like in blocky outlines, a top-down view of the city, and it'll be like, so if there's a bar here, this bar here, on the map, it'll have, or on the image, it'll have a circle and it'll say bar. It'll have a circle and it'll say bar. It'll have a circle and it'll say bar. And then it'll, for here, for the station house, it'll have like the little oval and then a square, and it'll say police station on it. So it's like a top-down map that players can look up, and then it'll have the overview will be something like, it'll be, you know, just this section here of the Great Desert, and then it'll have like the city icons, you know, stamped onto the map, even like the tiny little old village, if they're known. So players will have an outside map. It's a lot of work, but I think it'll be fun to do. What I wish I could do, and this might be possible in the future, but what I want to do is when a player is inside the city limits, like when players are inside this ring, I want the map, so like, I want the map to swap to like the city view. I have no idea how that'll work, but in the future, I might be able to do that. So instead of having this as your fucking map, it'll zoom in all the way, and it'll replace the map with like the hand-drawn, a zoomed-in city map. So when you open the map in the city, instead of seeing the world, what you'll see is like a zoomed-out city map, and then you'll be able to zoom into it, and like here will be the police station on the map, and then, you know, where it says Armory Ruins right here, it'll say like bar. It would be cool. Now, I have no idea what's possible, but if it is possible in the future, if I lay the groundwork now, then what ends up happening is that people will have more to look forward to in the future. And then as you're out and exploring the region and stuff like that, because I'm pretty sure, like, if I go to, hold on. So if I go to 1, hold on. Let me go here. then if I go to F, okay, squad. So if you take a look at this right here, this is something I was thinking about, and this is why I was thinking about this. So if I go to F, you see how it says what town I'm in? So the game detects what town the squad is in. So in theory, it should be able to, with the script extender in the future, in theory, it should be able to not only detect this, but replace the map. So it obviously wouldn't work for ruins because there's so many, there'll be so many quote unquote cloned ruins. So yeah, yeah, I've got a lot of big plans for Genesis. Of course, all of the coding and stuff like that may eventually make Genesis mostly exclusive to the Nexus. Yeah. Now there are people out there right now who are like the author of Odyssey. He's going for. Oh, I didn't save it. God damn it. Oh wait, hold on. These guys blend in so well up here. What a dead eye. Alright. Buildings, outpost, ancient citadel, ruin. And we'll put the stair here, firm, drop it down. Save, close, exit. Oh, so what I was saying is, like the mod author of Odyssey, he's going through and he's adding more new stuff. Like he added, because of Kenshi, he added like new islands and stuff like that, and new music, and it's all just layered on top of each other. It's all new, but it doesn't fix the core issues of Kenshi. And unlike what Boron is doing with Last in the Ashlands, he stripped everything down, rebuilt the entire map, and then now he's going through and he's like, okay, this part of the map will have, this faction, and they'll do this, and this is their core reason for existing, and this is how they control the area, and this is how strong they are. This is their tech level, right? And that's what I'm doing, but I'm doing that from the vanilla Kenshi standpoint. So I'm not going to do stuff like adding new ruins and stuff like that, because it's all filler content. It's all, yeah. It's all, from my opinion, on the point of Odyssey, it's all filler content because the core issues of Kenshi are still there. So, like one thing I was talking about, we'll jump back over to Heft here in a second. One thing I was talking about, actually, let's load this area so I don't have to come back and load it. Oh, I'm under the ground. Okay. So, if I go back to Heft for a second. What's up, Screet? How you doing today? We're just waiting on Hef to load in. That's good to hear. I think I jumped over here too early. It's gonna take in. There we go. Okay, so the one thing I want to highlight about how I'm rebuilding cities, and I'll show you this if we go to night. So if we go to night, you look at this and you might go, you know, wow, it's really lit up. And you might think, you know, how does this benefit the player and how does this help rebuild the systems of Kenshi? And I'll show you. So if we go to light geometry, this shows basically everywhere that light is hitting and light is being cast. So in some parts, and in some cities, it'll look like a huge mess of things. But what ends up happening is you have slightly darker areas, like down here. So the light rays don't cast that far, or you have dark areas up here. So the idea is that, like in this case, the light doesn't even reach this side of the wall. And then eventually, when Remastered comes out, I'll be reworking how lights affect what and how lights do what. But now that I've got the core concept of the city down, in this case, what I can do from here is that I just need to go through and create little tiny paths of darkness that the players can follow. So if they want to steal something, you'll notice that the idea is that this light would be closer to like this wall or something like that. So then along this wall, you have very, very little light being cast, so you can sneak in the darkness. Now, this isn't going to do a lot until you realize eventually what is going to happen is the way I've got these positioned. Let's go back to the map. So we have the police station up here, and then we have a police station over here. I think there's a third one, yeah. So we have 3 police stations, right? So this police station, and this police station will have different timed patrols. So these guys will patrol the city at different times, meaning eventually, as players come back into the city, what will happen is if the guards see you sneaking, then they start to harass you. If the guards can't see you because your stealth bonus is super high or whatever, then you can just avoid the patrols. But the idea is that the police will now patrol on timed intervals. And so what ends up happening is every once in a while, you'll have to change your tactics. And because they'll have increased perception, they can see you better. And then the AI in the city will also react to you sneaking around. So it makes it riskier, meaning sometimes you might have to wait for, like in this case in Heft, you might have to wait for nighttime. Hold on, let's let this load. So what you might have to do is wait for, let me see, what do we got here now? We should have a, okay, so now we're in the middle of a sandstorm. So what you might have to do is wait for it to be nighttime. And all of a sudden now you have to wait for a sandstorm, because that sandstorm will provide you an extra stealth bonus. But yeah, so there will just be more to engage the player as they're doing things. And of course, for the players that don't like the extra addition and the extra difficulty increase, you know, with detection and stuff like that. What'll end up happening is you have stuff like the cybernetic for the belt slot that increases your stealth, or you have like super stealthy limbs and stuff like that. So you can wear those, and then that pretty much negates the increased difficulty without it providing too much of a difficulty increase. And that's why when people are like, you know, hey, it's this set of limbs is too overpowered, or I bought this for 100k cats and it was super easy to get, and I'm like, the option is there for you to choose to use it or not, because eventually over time what you're gonna have is you're gonna have sharper and sharper difficulty increases, and so every stat is going to matter more, right? Like you're not gonna be, you know, a developer, you know, skeleton sprinting across the desert at 50 miles an hour. You know, you're going to be a normal player and you're going to be sprinting across the desert at 10 miles an hour. So you're going to have to prepare for that travel. You're going to need med kits. You're going to need food. You're going to, you know, need robotics if you have robotics. You're going to need a camp bed. And stuff like that. So the general idea is to slowly increase the difficulty throughout this update cycle. So like run speed will slow down, and because I've already kind of balanced toughness, medic, and yeah, so you need to prepare for that trip. Yeah, and then that's where the backpack balance comes in. So the backpack balance is the start of that preparing for the trip with the tech update. Where the hell was that? I was in the crater, right? Yeah, crater. No, I haven't done any nerfs per se yet. Let's see, there should be. Yeah, that's not. So I'm not too worried about like if players add on like recruit prisoners. I'm not too worried about that because that's, you know, that's the player's choice. So I'm not going to prevent the player from getting, you know, or cheesing the game if they want to. But for the players that engage with the content, you know, they'll have that option to play as they normally would. So you're not typically going to be able to recruit a prisoner, but every once in a while you might find the opportunity to, without recruit prisoners mod. But if I do it, I'll do it in such a way that it provides a huge benefit to the player in terms of storytelling and lore, like I did with the Whistler. Okay. So what else do I want to put here? Maybe I should. Yeah, her before the end of this update cycle, I'll have to rewrite a bunch of her dialogue, and then I have to do the Howler's Maze dialogue, and world states. Sure, nobody's asking. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. So then what we need to do. What the fuck is this? Don't care. Alright, Don. I'll catch you later, man. Yeah, man, I'll catch you later. Oh, wait, you know what? I know where there's a factory. You're not it. Does purple sand have purple rain? No, it does not. I thought there was. Huh. Is there. Factory, 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 factory. Factory, factory, factory. Well, you're just a lame.
Careful with your pretty eyes and run with me, yeah. 'Cause you and I are a secret. Feel my drift against your skin. 'Cause honestly, let's hold our breath. This is so real. Just you and me, let's escape, girl, tonight.
Black Desert Knight. That is indeed true. Oh, they're called workshops.
Careful with your pretty eyes and run with
They use the factory building called workshop. Oh, you know what? I know what has it. Oh, wait.
and I are a secret. Feel my drift against your skin.
Oh, it's an ancient workshop as well.
'Cause honestly, let's hold our breath. This is so real. Just you and me, let's escape, girl, tonight.
Hmm. What did I have those labels as? Okay, so what I likely won't do ruined factories. Because I feel like I would have to custom build each one and not be able to use a template. Let me see. Hold on. So friend. Oh, again. I don't wanna cry anymore. And going and hurt me. Uh, 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 uh. So friend. Okay, so Spider Factory won't work. What I could do. Uh, I don't want on. Even if I'm a friend. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a ruin library, a ruin armory, and a ruin lab. So these will be the ruins. And then these will be the lost. And then these will be the ancient. And then I probably won't do any lost factories as well. So, what I really need is a goddamn strike-through feature. Done. The vaults are done. I'll probably make unique interiors for them in the future, but for now, they're done. Oh, yeah, I actually have no pet plus. Okay, so let's do an armory. I'm actually gonna delete you, factory ruins. List references, you have the references, so. Let's see. There's one. Okay. Okay, so let's compare these library ruins and armor ruins. Okay, so what I should do is loot spawn and add useful building mats, and then we'll do 520, and then 825, and then 825. So let's see what that looks like.
Look left, look right. And I come with a hook right. Hook right, hook right. This what the angles look like. Way up, stood high. Taking the view when it look right. And oh, it's the good life. I found a picture we took many years ago. When I said to you we would never grow old. Messages I've saved that I never send. Cause I don't know you, but I used to back then. I remember that I was drunk out my mind when we kissed for the first time. In the back of your car we passed out counting stars. Promised all these years we'd pack our things and disappear. I never thought I would see you here. After all this time.
Okay, so let's take a look. Fog. And then we will go to view. Lost Armory, huh? Let's replace with a copy. And then we will do Armory Ruins. Because we already have these. Let's see. Armor plating is fine. We'll remove building material. We'll remove the copper alloy. Keep the hinge. Remove the iron plates. The raw iron. Raw copper, iron, stone. Copper alloy plate.
Would you come around? I will keep you safe and sound. After all this time.
What the fuck is a grind machine? Why the fuck have I never seen a grind machine? There it is, right there. Huh. How have I never seen this? It's literally a fucking grinder. I've literally never once seen this. Grind machine Kenshi. Damn, they're fucking roasting jelly. Okay. Would it be in a... No, it wouldn't. Okay, so let's remove the grind machine. tools, wrench, motor, capacitor. And then so weapon manufacturers add ancient. So let's just pull from the weapon manufacturer. That's fine. And then let's see. No stone. Steel bars is fine. Let's go to crossbow parts. I guess there would be steel bars when there's steel. Let's do 100. We'll do 50. Wrench tools, 100. Steel bars, 25. And then I will do books. I will do 10 here. So it weights more towards. Actually, I'll just remove this. And then we will add. Oh, you know what I could do? Hold on. Items, add. Heavies, longs, regulars, toothpicks. Let's not do toothpicks. That's fine. Chainmail sheets, sure. Already got crossbow parts. I'll put in fabrics as well. Okay. Fabrics. Huh. Maybe a hacksaw. I already have hinges. I guess I can. I don't want to weight iron plates there because I've already got useful building materials. No letters. No motors. Motors. I'm gonna have to clean up all of these recipes. I could add a press here.
Hey, I'm kind of glad you didn't pick up. I kind of just called to hear your voice. I miss you. I've been thinking about you, and I've been thinking about our love, and how much I miss you.
And I'll add a skeleton repair kit. Spring steel, already got. Steel bars I've got.
Being around you, hearing your laugh and holding your hand. I think of you every day. I hope and I wish that you're doing okay.
Tools I've got.
I want us to go back to the old days. Because
No wanted posters.
and I just
The
thought
fuck is a weapon? Okay. So we'll do 10, 10, 10. Do 150. Do 125. 80. 60. Actually, let's do.
the idea of you listening to this, the thought of you on the other side of the line, I can't hang up. I don't want this to end.
I'll do 10 for you.
I don't know if you miss me too, but
45.
I hope you do.
25. Sure. Spring steel. 80. We'll do 90. And for these, we'll do 110. 110. 110.
Even if things never go back.
And then there's no telling what kind of weapon here or there, so, or hopefully.
I thought would be forever.
And then for you, I will add, let's go through. So this should just be all building materials, or all regular materials. Building material. Chainmail. Copper alloy plates. No. Fabrics. Fuel. So the idea here is that these lists will be distinct, meaning that I can combine the building materials with any ruin. I'll put the grind machine, building materials. Iron plates. Leather. Leather? No. Press. No. Raw copper, raw iron, raw stone, resmelting plate. I'm pretty sure I've got to get rid of that because I need the scrap item to be one unified item across every inventory. So salvage, scrap metal. No severed limbs. No tools. No steel bars. Stop. Stop. Um, 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 um. No, I won't add a water barrel. Okay. Then I'll just balance these out evenly. I'll do a max weight of 25 each of these. Okay. And then for the libraries, I will do 815 and then 815. Alright, let's see how that looks. Who DM? Ooh. That's Sindel. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck is that? Armory. It's fine. Let's see what Sindel said. You don't shut the hell up, Canva. It doesn't need to look like a panic. Okay. Excuse me. see. So I think I'm gonna get rid of salvage and just use scrap metal. Yeah, they're meant to be. Let's see. Maybe here. So they're meant to be mined from like these pieces. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to make these into scrap metal instead. So like see how it mixes rock hopper, salvage here, rock hopper here. Hell, there's probably an iron node in here somewhere. Salvage. Yeah, the general idea is that you'll come across something like this, and then you'll be able to mine all 3 metal resources from it. Which should make traveling a bit easier. And then the scrap metal you get can be smelted down into copper or iron. Everybody think. Yeah, something like that. So I'll probably get rid of salvage. Let's see. Get rid of salvage. So I think what I will likely do is maybe remove the iron copper nodes from scrap piles. Let me see. Is that enough? So we have a ruined library. But do I want... Oh. I'm okay with... Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Okay, so we have library, and then template done, and then labs. Template. Okay. So shift escape, armory, library. Oh, I didn't. I didn't make a lab ruin, so lab, crumbling labs. Oh, I did. Or nest, loot spawn. So let's see. So what I should do for a lab ruin. What? Lab, library. Let's do 40. And then you. That's fine. Electrical components, it's fine. Gears or actually let's do that's Fine. Remove. Damn. Steel bars, remove. Frost stone, remove. Vendor list. Armory ruins. Lab, huh? Lab. Lab. Loot. Library. Ruin. Loot. Armor. Ruins. Nest. Let's see. What are weapons? Okay, so I guess that's fine. Hold on, let me see this. So I don't need a manufacturer here, and then what I can do is add in another spawn, add nest, loot, weapons, low, and then I'll do like five. I'll do like 2, 5. That's fine. I'll remove these. And I will remove the ton. Bum, bum. Okay, so ancient labs show. Okay. Generator for, I guess for a lab, I could add on science book. Science book. By ancient science book. And I'll do like 25. No, I'll do like 5. And that brings up the question of what the fuck would be in a workshop. That's a workshop. I mean, pretty random stuff. Because labs are all kinds of things, suppress robotics components. That's fine. And then, let's see. Add book. Not that book. Wrong book. Oh, I guess maybe it would. And then, you know what? Let's do engineering research. Then I'll make this like 10. Okay, nest lab ruin, and then let's see. Armory ruin, and we'll do useful building bits. Thank you for that sub. What was it? J-Rat X? J? I didn't even see it. And of course, for whatever reason, goddamn activity isn't. but that sound made you look back. Let's see. We'll do 520. So I have a lab ruin, armory ruin, and library ruin. So the templates are done. Yeah, I know my mic is a little. I'm too poor to do anything about it. I'm not saying I'm not grateful. I'm just saying I'm a little too poor to do anything about it. That's funny though. Yep, soon TM. Indeed. If you haven't already, make sure that you're on the Discord and that you link your Twitch to your Discord so that you get access, because now that you've subbed, you should have access to the donor chat. The donor chat. And then in here in the pins is the beta update. There are the only issue I would say right now with the beta update is there's practically no ruins. But otherwise, going through the change logs should see, the change notes. You should be able to go through and find a whole bunch of stuff to pick apart and play. But so long as you're on the server. But yeah. So, no. Well, yes and no. It'll require um, full import, and because the beta will get updated pretty much every week. Every week I'll be releasing a new beta. Then most of the time you should be fine. But when I start updating the tech tree, you'll have to re-import tech every time. But for the most part, you'll find that hold on one sec. Genesis change notes, get the Kenshi roll from #roles, Steam or Nexus. Cool will do thanks when the update is released. Will I be able to keep playing my save with this beta? So if you're jumping into the beta, the only thing, like from a current save, the only thing you should do is import. Well, actually, that's not true. If you're jumping from a current save to the beta version, you should import buildings because a bunch of the towns have been changed around, meaning you will lose your base and you should also likely import tech. So buildings and tech. You will lose your base and you will lose any buildings you have bought. But there's tons to explore, tons to do already in the world. Well, I closed Kenshi down, so I can't show you. And then when I start doing the tech update, it'll require for every beta version, it'll require a import of tech every time I change the tech tree. Yep. Okay. So nest lab ruin, and then let's see. Let me open you and change you to lab ruins. Move town, add lab ruins. Go back. Oh no, signal is unlocked. FCS simulator stream, indeed. Yeah, the sub still hasn't shown up to. Hold on. The sub still hasn't shown up in the activity feed, but it's showed up here. Weird. Lab ruins. Why not? Oh, because I don't have any down. I'm an idiot. Let's just go slap one down in the crater. Is my character an Overlord reference? No, you stupid. It's just my developer character. Shift F12. Actually, let's let it load in. I'll do effects and fog. Swamp raptors. What? Yeah. But Overlord doesn't wear purple robes. He wears black robes. No, I wanted to teleport him here. See? Purple robes. These are, Boron made me these, this robe. Hold on. Shoulders, arm bulk, stomach, leg bulk, leg shape, sure, feet, sure, height, leg length, okay. So yeah, Boron made me these. It's newly modeled and textured. This is a new texture. I'm 90% sure the robe is from Cat's Civilian Overhaul though, but the texture is brand new. This will be for the Sohai leader, and then I'm pretty sure he gave me a red and white one with little lotuses all over it. What the fuck was I doing? Oh, that's right. Town. Lab ruins. Let's find a good little place like here. Looks good. Town. Buildings. I can't fucking do anything. Citadel. Ruin. Bum 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 bum. Don't cancel my goddamn music, YouTube, dick. I know the tilt makes it look like it fell victim to a landslide. It's supposed to. Okay. I am indeed sassy. Hmm. The cool thing about having templates is it doesn't really matter what kind of building I use, outpost-wise, so long as it has a destroyed mesh or I use something that is destroyed already, like a destroyed building, then I can place anything down and it'll automatically be the right, setting for it. Yeah, it's the same thing I did for the when I was messing around with the high villages. That's what I found out, because the high villages are basically all one village, just repeated. So I decided if I make a certain, like if I go to high village. So, all I had to do was limit, like, the interiors. And then what you end up with is, like, this one uses an L house. And this one uses whatever has an interior called Hive Trader PG. And then 4 factories, 4 workers, 6 shacks, 1 bar, 1 spire, and 4 gate guards. So, when using a template like this to better explain this, so in this case, let's see, foliage, effects, fog. So in this case, I have a bar, a trader, but I have multiple of these buildings, domes, and huts. What the fuck? Looks like I'll have to come back through and fix this. But this village is the same as this one. It's just visually different. And because it has different buildings in it, it has different vendors and stuff like that. But this is also the same thing with, like, if I close these out, if I go to my squads and I go to generic citizen, and then I go to show references, you can see that it has the generic citizen as locked to all these buildings. And so what ends up happening is that I now have one citizen, and they appear in all of these towns. But because, say, for instance, let's see. Oh, that's not it. Show references. Actually, yeah, that's fine. So if I go to this, show references, where's checking them? So I can have one citizen type and one character type across a majority of the game. But what it allows me to do, because factions have, let me see. Well, this faction technically, oh yeah, there we go. Okay. So if I go to United Cities, like, these are the wait listings for the United Cities, or the race wait listings for the United Cities. Meaning this is what they will appear as, and then for the Czech Kingdom, obviously, it's just Czechs. So now I have the same character that will eventually use the same dialogue, but depending on their faction and their race, they will act completely different. So that means this is part of, like, preparing for the future. And then I have a cloned variant. If I go back to this, so if I have, oh wait, hold on, let me do this real quick. Done. So if I go here, the only one that's different is the Holy Nation one. But this, the Holy Nation one, is just a cloned version of this guy, and then it's replaced with generic citizen Holy Nation. Yeah, and because they're generic NPCs, I can mass add items to them, and I know that it'll spread and randomize across the game. So like in this case, instead of needing, so like in vanilla, there's a bunch of like, and this goes for like a lot of people. So if you see here, it says generic armor, generic construction, crossbows, gate guard, general store, hats, middle house resident, police guards, housemate. Housemate means that they spawn with somebody else. Police station, robotics, generic weapons, and then market stalls, obviously. So what it allows me to do is, if I have a town I need to flesh out and fill out, that isn't necessarily faction specific, I can use a generic setup, and then all of the faction data will overwrite where it needs to for the generic, and then I can have multiple generic characters that simply just react and talk differently based on their faction alone. Because if you look, let me see, if I go to, let me see, HN, so this is the one thing that I hated. When we were doing merging in the early days, and then when I took over the mod. So if you look at this, like this is just Holy Nation. Yeah, setting it up initially was a bit of a pain. But so, like if you take a look at this, I've got refugee, this guy, refugee surf, refugee farm storage, refugee squad bar, mercenary. Oh, that's a clone one. These guys spawn as sacred mercenaries. This is also mine. But yeah, so now you have, okay, so now you have refugee bar, residential, and trader. But then you also have stuff like United Holy Nation Outlaws, Bar Scouts BZ, which is black something, B something, bed bugs, I don't know, guards wandering. But these guys all are practically the same person, but they're multiple squads. So if I did something like UC, so now I have Barracks UC, Barracks Malnourished, which I'll eventually have to clone a bunch of the generics so that they have like malnourished states. But then you have like Barracks UC 03. 03 stands for Outpost 3. Barracks UC W2, Watchtower 2. Civilian Family UC, Civilian Solo UC, Small. So, and then this is a little insight into what'll be coming eventually in the tech update. So eventually towns will be high, mid, or low, and then they're basically just exact clones of each other, but instead you'll have a different squad type with different vendors. So this might be like clothing mid vendor, so he sells gear at the mid level, or he sells gear that's statistically at the mid level, or Under Armour, etc. like that. But then you have stuff like this one. We have Clown Steady Barracks UC, Clown Steady Construction. Then we have like UC Militia, you know, stuff like that. And so it's really dirty, but eventually I've got to go through and clean up every single piece. Like if I do references, well, some of it is easy, like anything added by Genesis or like this. I just need to go through and make sure that I have a generic template, and if I need a unique template, then I make the unique template. But the issue is that there's so much stuff, even in vanilla, that could have been cloned, like these. I can just easily delete these. But then you have stuff like empty, 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 empty. And there's nothing in them. So it's just a building. But then you can see, like, I started replacing a bunch of the squads. So, like, if you look over here where REF is, that's references, how many times it's referenced in the game. And you can see that, you know, I can just go down, 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 and they all have zeros up until, what is this? The Savage Recruit. Which I'm obviously not going to delete. What the fuck is a whale squad? Oh, Leviathan. But yeah. So it just comes down to prepping for the future, and then over time cleaning and cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. And that goes with, because like UC Town Guard Swordren, and then I have Empire Militia. So sometimes they'll have like unique dialogue packages, so I have to go all the way into the squad, all the way to the dialogue, all the way down to the dialogue lines, delete all the dialogue lines, then clean out the package, then clean out the squad, and then clean out the characters if their duplicates are already made. But then there's stuff like this, like allies. You can just, like, I don't need new squads for them. I can just set the faction relations instead of needing new squads, right? So it all just comes down to taking the time to slowly clean up everything and plan everything. Towns, ruins. Okay. So now we have, let's see, we have lab ruins, done. Armory ruins, done. Okay, so we'll say this, open this back up. So now I have the templates done. And then we'll go and we'll delete these guys, duplicate, lost, library, town, lost, library, save, duplicate, remove, town, lost, armory, armory, and then duplicate, and then this will be it's hard capped at 15 characters. Like I can go and I can do this. Get your ass off of chat. Get out of chat. Come back here, little shit. I know you're over there. Come back here. You get out of chat too. What does that look like on screen? The funny thing is I don't even remember how the fuck to get rid of them. Yeah. But yeah, it's hard capped to 15, and then I think it's 10 seconds per person. I'll just leave him there. Yeah. Oh wait, I don't even know how to unpin someone. Oh, there we go. Let's see. There's got to be a way to nuke them all. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Lost armory. What do I need? Lost. Yeah, that's a good image. Okay, so I have library, armory, and now I need a lab. Town, add, lost. Let's change you to... Actually, let's just see what the fuck you are. Because what I might do... Library, outpost. And then let me kill that, and bring you guys back up. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have done the dance, mass dance. Okay. And then let's just see, outpost. Okay, so apparently there isn't one. I know where I'll put one though. Not Ogren's Pride, I'm in Blister Hill. I'll put one right here where Scott is. Okay, now we're going to do this with caution. Town placement. Ska. Delete. Town placement. Save. Close. I don't know why, but every time I delete Ska, the game crashes. So we'll spawn at a random town again, and then it's not a joke. Like I've had to multiple times rebuild Genesis because I genuinely couldn't get the game to crash. And I don't know if maybe I just deleted too much in one session or what. If I don't crash, then we're good. Fingers crossed. Now, I know that you can't delete every town in game. Like, there's a lot of people who are like, I want to delete every town, every faction, everything from the game, but you can't. Tech Hunters, United Cities, and at least one town have to be left in the game. Shut up, Blossom Ninja. Discover. Oh, I thought it crashed. I was about to be fucking furious. No, the Tech Hunters were one of the first factions added to the game, and so I think they're the default faction. You know what I should do? Instead of... Towns, Lost, Library Outpost. The swamp. Mm. Isn't there... Oh, it's here. Okay, it's here. Is this it? Oh. Okay, don't know what this is, but goodbye. Mm. Alright, rather than stressing over a location for this, I'm just gonna... Yeah, fuck it, I'll leave it there. Okay, shift escape, new game, lost library. Just work from what we know instead of trying to add new stuff to the game. Figuring out templates in a bit. Okay. Lost library. Outpost S1. Okay, so it is an S1. Then you are deleted. Buildings, outpost, S1. Nice. Already over. Okay, so we'll close this. Cancel, save. I do not at all remember where all the lost libraries are, but hopefully there's not that many. So I don't just spawn all over the place. True. I'll just cheat it. Fuck it. Oh, I just did the dumb thing, didn't I? Yes, I did. I deleted the door. So if you don't know, every time you delete a door in Kenshi, it crashes the game. Super fun, because I do it all the time. Also, if you're in build mode and you hover over the floors, it crashes you. Do I know why? Nope. Do I have any inkling as to why? Nope. Is it super annoying? Yep. Luckily, we spawned back here. I do not want you in the wall. Let's do... Let's see. You'd buildings. Outpost, S1. Why are you such a pain? That's and I will put a couple S3s, like, I don't know, here and here, and then an S2, like, not there. Sure, that's fine. So it'll pick that one, and these two should be destroyed.
These roads intersect, on each one I reflect. These lines write my story. These places change me, each one replacing. Like night into
Okay, now it spawns me all the way over here. That's fine. Do 1, 2. We'll do 1 and 4. Would you stop, mouse? Fuck it. Open it. Now I'm not going to delete the door. Shut up. Okay, it's not terrible. Actually, you know what I should do? You know what game I want to play? I want to play Hogwarts Legacy. Just so I can get a million people in here hating on me. People are nuts. Did you see that website someone created? It's like, realistically, the website was intended for people to like use as something that, hey, don't, support this person because they played this game. So, you know what I mean? It wasn't meant to be a tool for harassment, but it immediately became a tool for harassment. So people started using the website to find streamers that were streaming the game and harassing them. It's wild, man. Maybe so. So what? Under storage books? Storage. Nope. Storage bookshelf? Storage research. Storage interior books. Oh, that's because it is under storage. So it's under storage research. Huh. What is under storage interior bookshelf? Yeah. Huh, weird. Um,
I got a bottle of Grey Goose and ice cubes. Have a drink that'll put me in the right mood. 80 proof's gonna lower my IQ. And I've been the same way since high school. I look shorty right in her brown eyes. She about to take a trip to cloud nine. I'm the man, baby. I get the crowd hype. I turn the cadence of a hook into a sound bite. Here we go, it's about to go down. Let me know, I'ma buy another round. Get low, drop it down to the ground. Oh yeah, wow, shorty making bounce. Mama see the foot cuffs on my cardiac.
I think I'm gonna delete this version because I have this version. The funniest thing about the whole, like, the funniest thing about all of it is that they were doing it for a perceived reason, right? Whether it's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. They were doing it for a perceived reason. So then it turns out, oh, you don't want to play this, or so the message was, oh, you don't want to play this because you'd be supporting somebody who's transphobic. Okay, so then it turns out that, like it was always going to be, the developers in the game studio, whatever the game studio is, put trans people in game, and then people were still mad because, they want to be mad or whatever. And it's just like, it blows my mind how people are going to be so mad. I mean, it really shouldn't at this point, but it blows my mind. That actually scared me. I forgot my character was standing right there. But yeah, it got to the point where basically they bullied and harassed somebody who was streaming it, and it's just like, I don't understand how you guys think that you're in the right. For harassing people who just want to play a game. And then you will turn around and you'll justify it. But if it happened to you, then it's completely unfair. It's not the right thing. It shouldn't happen to you because that's not the way the world is supposed to work. And it's like, you can't dish it out and not expect it to not come back to you. People let politics ruin everything. The dumbest take I ever saw on Twitter was, everything by nature is political. No, it's not. Like, it's not like I don't get the message. Like, I get the message. It's just, it's so toxic to create a website or even just use a website to figure out who you want to harass. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Right, but those platforms can't do anything because they have an image to uphold. And I think that's one of the dumbest things is that, you know, people will sit there and then they justify reasons for attacking people. I hate it, man. Like, you're not any better than you say the other person isn't. You're actually worse. The weirdest thing to me is the whole people who are like, cancel culture isn't real, but if you say that it is, then I'll take everything that you love in your job. And it's like, that's the, by definition, that is exactly what you say doesn't exist. People will argue, oh, there's no such thing as being quote unquote woke, and it's like, you can't tell me that you look at somebody and go, yeah, that's normal. They're like, it's just activism. That's not activism. That's just straight up harassment. And it's not like I don't get a bunch of the message, right? Like, a lot of people in these communities, you know, in all these various communities, you know, the LGBT, you know, et cetera, you know, they, for the most part, a lot of them just want to be left alone and left to their own devices, and you know, they want to be good members of society and have a good life like anybody else. And I get that, but then it's like you get people who are like, I'm not even remotely right wing and I think this is batshit crazy, and people will like pounce on them. And it's like, you're fighting your own goddamn. Wait, you know what I can do? Do this. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. You're not fighting the good fight, you're just doing exactly what you hate other people doing. The worst thing about it is, bear in mind, I typically try not to keep up to too up to date on, you know, all the political drama. But the worst part about it is I've never once ever seen anybody be able to prove why she's transphobic. Not a single person. Every time I've asked for an explanation or a reason or a quote or anything, I get attacked because I want to know what they don't like. And it's like, if you can't even explain your position and you expect me to just trust you, that's not a movement. That's not a political movement. That's a religion. You want me to believe you because you said believe. That's a religion. Like you want people to understand your viewpoint, but you attack them when they ask you to explain your viewpoint. Doesn't make any goddamn sense to me. And any unreasonable person would be like, you know, they don't really care, they just want to attack people, and it's like, no, they want to say something. But it's like at this point, they're so wrapped up in a religion that they have no idea what they even want to say. I have a friend of mine who is, by and large, a actual leftist. He's a socialist. And it's funny because anytime he says something contrary to what people think socialism is, as he tries to explain it, he gets called like a Trump supporter and all that. And it's just like I don't understand what you even think a Trump supporter is supposed to look like if you think a socialist is supporting someone like him. That's pretty good. It's got a mix of bookshelves. No, see, he's not that kind of person. He's not that kind of person. He's the kind of person who argues from an ideological standpoint of why it's good, but he also takes a logical standpoint on why it won't work now, or how the system should be modified, or you know what I mean? Like he's not dumb, and that's exactly why I like him, and that's exactly why he's my friend. You know, I've had a great many debates with him, but you know, and my whole thing is like I don't really care what you believe. I don't care if you're a communist, so long as you can base what you see and what you know. I'm not saying I'm going to agree with you because I'm not, but you know, I don't care. It's not my business. Who am I to tell you, you know, how to live your life? If you're following the law and not hurting people, then what the hell do I care? Which, you know, I guess in turn is kind of like, you know, people would argue, you know, hey, that's just lazy political. And it's like, I don't care. I just don't. I want more people to be able to talk to each other, not less people. Let's see. I'll swap you out. I will swap you out. I think too many people are worried about what others are doing rather than worrying about what they should be doing. Yeah, and about what others think. Right, bookshelf. It's like everybody's so toxically, or what do they call it? Terminally online. Everybody's so terminally online that, you know, they can't differentiate between what they would perceive as friend or foe. Show. Yeah, man, I'll catch you later. I'm actually gonna jump up here myself. Save this and do a little testing, but I will likely catch you guys tomorrow. We'll have to see. But yeah, thank you everybody for stopping by, and I will catch you guys tomorrow.